Hello everyone, this is Yours Trivia, and today the roadmap for Total War Warhammer 3 finally came out, and I just compiled basically 8 pages of information into this one graphic, and we're just going to talk about it real quick. So, looking at it quarter by quarter, we have the second quarter first, which will be sort of May and June now, as we are already kind of done with April. And the first thing that will come out is update 1.2, and they have sort of a run over of what's exactly in this patch. AI fixes regarding to siege, towers being built too quickly, issues with flying units attacking ground units, ranged units unable to make a full turn to fire, demon factions automatically declaring war on Sinesh's vassals, which kind of breaks the playstyle of vassals for Sinesh, and also issues with player getting stuck in Sinesh's realm. These are all sort of bug fixes, snow being too bright. They're trying to adjust anti-player bias of AI factions, but they're not going to change the whole thing. There will still be a bias, but they're changing how that bias is sort of calculated. Certain factions, like the Wood Elves, would be more defensive into holding their own realm. Heavier units ignoring defensive infantry line, also one of these bugs. And aside from bug fixes, they're also trying to make improvements to things like auto-resolve, unit responsiveness. This includes turning of range units as well as infantry units following commands. They're also going to add quite a bit of single entity unit dueling, so sort of sync combat. This is a fan favorite. The tech tree is getting a rework where we're going to basically buff a lot of the tech. And then we'll also get character trait rework, so also buffing a lot of the traits. Lastly, Tzeentch and Sinesh factions will have their replenishment rate sort of increased as they are kind of weak right now in the game. There are also some leaderboard resets for multiplayer coming in. And something that's more exciting is the Regiments of Renown. And they're calling this one the first one. And for those who are familiar with Warhammer, you have seen Regiments of Renown before, and previously when it was done alongside a DLC release, you typically got one unit or maybe two, depending on the DLC, of those races. So you're getting a elite recruitable unit for that race. And for Warhammer 3 going forward, they're taking a different approach to Regiments of Renown. So, for example, here, instead of focusing on one or two factions, usually alongside a DLC, they're going to be launching Regiments of Renown for every single core faction in the game during each of these launches. So for this first one here, we're going to get 8 units, and they're basically elite recruitable units as mentioned before for each of the core races. So the 4 demon factions, the Demon Prince, Grand Cathay, Kislev, and Ogres, I believe. And we're going to basically get new units to play with in the game. Then for June, nothing's going to happen. Basically, we're going to process the update. And then once we get into Q3, we have update 1.3 in July. And the focus of this one will be improve unit formation, a skill tree rework, increasing the frequency of land battles and other battle-related fixes. And we're also going to get the second batch of Regiments of Renown. So I'm assuming 8 more units added to the roster. But I think what most people are waiting for is the big August update, update 2.0. And usually when you have a number change with update, that means new content, new DLC. And here we're going to get a lot of that. Immortal Empires, the combined map of the first 3 games for those who own the previous games, is going to come out in a beta form. This is going to be an open beta, and they're going to run probably a month of this just to get more feedback on it. Alongside the Immortal Empires launch, we'll get Blood Pack, and for Blood Pack 3, which is what they're calling it, you will get it for free if you have the previous Warhammer 1 and 2 Blood Pack. And if you don't have those, and you purchase Blood Pack 3, you'll receive the Warhammer 1 and 2 Blood Pack for free. So it's vice versa. Either you own the 2 previous Blood Pack, you get this one for free, or you purchase this one and you get the 2 previous one for free, in case you want to go get the previous games to play Immortal Empire. And Blood Pack adds blood animation into the game, as well as new sort of brutal execution style animations in the game for your troops. So for those who are interested. It's a sort of a small DLC, usually not counted as one. For the real DLC, we're going to get a Lord Pack called Lord Pack 1 that includes 4 champions. That's all they're really going to say. So it'd be interesting if it's sort of 2 sets of 2 sort of good factions, in this case Kislev and Grand Cathay versus 2 of the Chaos God factions as sort of a feature pack with 4 champions, or perhaps maybe just 1 champion for each of the 4 Chaos Gods. That would also make some sense. In addition to that, because Immortal Empire is launching, all the old races from the previous games will become playable. And they're going to start reworking these old races, especially ones that have been neglected in the past. In this case, we're going to have the Old World Update 1, which will focus on Warriors of Chaos. And then leading into September, we're going to continue with all these August content. There's a lot of them listed. So basically from August to September, we'll get all the launch of basically the core of the content that people have been waiting for. Then into Q4, which is October, November, December, they're planning on at least update 2.1, which I guess would be sort of the October update as a follow-up to fix whatever needs to be fixed after update 2.0. And then they're also going to be launching Regiments of Renown 3, so another 8 unit, I assume. And finally, we'll have either update 2.2, if certain things are broken in Immortal Empires, or we might even get another DLC, update 3.0, because like I said, every time we get a new number for the updates, that means we're going to see another content DLC launch. So potentially, if all goes well, we'll probably also get another Lord Pack DLC at the end of the year as well. So that's pretty much the roadmap for 2022. In addition to this, they're also going to be doing sort of a state of the development, sort of, I think quarterly is what they said, announcements where the developer come out, post something to say what's going on, to provide more transparency after all the feedbacks we've been getting. So that's the roadmap. Hopefully this sums it up for you guys, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!